It looks like Alycia Baumgardner has just joined us. How are you doing, champ?
I'm doing well. How are you?
We are good, and just want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to interview you. We normally talk a lot of boxing on Thursday nights, so I got a whole panel of hosts. I'll let them jump in. I know you're very well versed in the women's divisions and with female boxing, so if you want to take it away.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations for that amazing win over Terry Harper. All right.
Thank you.
I want to ask you something because I saw your style and I had mentioned myself a lot of footage on you, but you have a very athletic style, and it reminds me of Broner at 135. I know Ohio, something in the water over there. Shout out to Marcus Snell. Ohio runs boxing. But tell me about your pedigree and your influence, and like the line. If anybody remember that Nas song, "Leave him froze like heron in your nose," like that was my knockout of the year. So salute to you. But tell us a little bit about your pedigree and how you developed that athletic style.
Yeah. So, my pedigree, it's God given. It's a God given talent that I had since a young girl. My parents seen it at a young age. I started wrestling at 5. And again, just having this built that I already have, like my arms and stuff. People always wondered if I like lifted weights, but that was just how my build was. And again, I knew it was something special, and just the being able to grow into my power and grow into the skill of boxing just has been amazing to me, just to see the transformation from when I was younger to like now at 27. So again, just it's just different, and it's God given. And so when you see it, it's just like, oh, that's natural. You know what I'm saying? That's not just it. Yeah, you learn as you go, but it's natural. And so the difference when you see it and when I step into the ring, so I would say again, it's God given.
I got one more question for you for somebody else jump in because I'm chomping at the bit. How much work did you get with? Were you getting work with Caleb Plant before his? Whose camp were you in where you were getting some work? I thought I saw you on IG in one of your stories.
Um, was this recently for Terry's fight?
Recently.
No.
No, no. Okay, I might have that might have been my error. Okay, I'm gonna let Queen jump in because I don't want to hog all the time. Go ahead, sis.
How you doing? So,
I'm
so listen, I gotta say this while we're on the live. I am so mad at myself. I didn't get an interview before now because I'm not in the city. So that's unacceptable. I definitely should have got an interview with you by now. So, but congratulations. I gotta support the women, of course. So one of my things I definitely want to ask you, as far as being in that gym with super bad, what's some of the things that you could say that you learned from, just being around Tony Harrison, working with LJ? What's some things that they have taught you to really take you to that next step?
One, Tony and LJ, they're both athletes. Tony being a former world champion, LJ just being an all around athlete as a basketball player, and just being around that is being around what I know, what I've always known: hard work, dedication, sacrifice. And they prove that in the gym. And so just being around that's what makes my hunger stay there. You know what I'm saying? They're just as hungry to get to that next level. And so as a woman in the sport and in the gym, I've been around many world champions and in their camps. And so I just see like just the growth and just the hunger. And you want to go to gyms that have that hunger and that grit and that hard work, because this sport don't take it easy on nobody, right? It's all up to you on how you train and how you prepare yourself for your fight. So, just being in the gym is just being around everyone who wants, that top spot. Like that's what just keeps my drive.
Absolutely.
What's going on, champ? Congrats to you. Tremendous performance and that championship win.
Yeah.
What I want to ask you, champ, is women's boxing is definitely on the rise, and I love it, right? one of the things that I feel might help propel the sport, and I want to ask from somebody who's in there, who's in the kitchen, in that fire, in that heat, would you like to see the women's fight increase in the time equal to what the men perform with the 12-minute, or the 3-minute rounds, 12 rounds championship fights, or are you cool where it's at the moment?
I'm stuck in the middle. There's pros and cons to 3 minutes and 2 minutes. When you have a good competitive fight, two great skilled fighters, I think that deserves 3 minutes. Just because at the higher level, when you're fighting for a world title, you just see the pedigree of the fight. Now, just for like a regular fight, 2 minutes is fine with me. And I think as women, that kind of separates us from the men. Like we can still have a dominant performance in 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So there's the pros and the cons, but again, for 3 minutes, the pay got to be increased because we are doing that extra minute. And I just think that's important because we're in there longer. If we want to be matched by our male counterparts, we know it got to be the same type of energy. It got to be a pay increase. If not, we'll keep the 2 minutes, but just know that you might not, in some cases, get the knockout because that extra minute could have got him out. You know what I'm saying? So again, there's pros and cons to it. I don't mind the 2 minutes, but I don't mind 3 minutes because I train 3 minutes when I'm in camp. You know what I mean? So it just really depends on the fight. I think, when you do have, again, those high caliber fights with women and what you're seeing now, they're great fights, man. Give us 3 minutes. I think people would like to see that.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree with that. And like you said, it works both ways, but I feel for sure that pay needs to increase because what's that, an extra 16 minutes of fighting?
Mm-hmm.
That's almost double the time. So
Right.
it definitely would need to increase. And then also, I feel like it will just propel women's boxing so rapidly because the cream is going to rise to the top for
Right.
sure. Yeah, the ones with the more amateur style and that maybe don't have the best conditioning, whatnot, you champs and high level performers are going to be able to really propel up there.
Right. I agree.
I want to jump in just right quick and just go back to that moment, that championship fight. It seemed like the crowd respected, even though they was hurt that their, champion got vanquished. It seemed like they respected the win. Can you tell us about how the UK treated you or what your experience was like after that and a little bit how life has changed for you? Your phone's ringing, baby, a little more?
Yeah, they was going to respect it sooner or later. And I had told myself a long time ago, everybody was going to respect it sooner or later because it was a lot of talk. It was a lot of like, who is she? Like, she ain't fight nobody, this, that, and the other. I'm just like, listen, y'all going to see. And when you see, it's going to be what it was. And that's exactly what I did. It was just a dominating performance and just, again, being the underdog and going overseas in her backyard. And that's what I like that made my hunger even more to really believe in myself, to put the confidence in myself. Going over there, the UK was very welcoming. They're big boxing fans over there. So they love, a good fight. They love women's boxing. So that was like perfect. And, just being in that arena, as a fan, they respect a good fight. You know what I'm saying? And so they knew that was going to be a great fight between me and Terry, me as the underdog going her backyard fighting for a world title. And, again, just had a dominating performance. And now just being world champion, just been busy, world tour, just traveling and stuff. But I enjoy it very much. And again, for me, it's a long-term goal. It's longevity for me in this sport and the history that I want to leave in this sport. So for me is just continuing that legacy and making my stamp in boxing and in women's boxing. Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess I'll jump in. So, champ, I just want to congratulate you not only on the win, but signing the Matchroom and your multi-fight deal. I know that must have been, something that you've been waiting for a long time. So, if you could just walk us through, I guess your emotions on being able to get signed to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Sports.
Yeah, so just a little backstory quick. I messaged Eddie Hearn way back then. I'm like, listen, like I will fight Whoever I got to fight, just give me a chance, give me an opportunity. I won't prove you wrong. I don't care who it is. Just give me the chance. And so, I already put that out in the air. So, when I did get the call to fight Terry Harper, I said, absolutely. We had 1 month. You know what I'm saying? I knew in them circumstances that they was going to give me a short period of time to be like, oh, well, here's this fight. And I said, you know what? I'm confident. I know I can beat her. Go ahead. I'll take the fight. Right. And so I knew that I had to knock her out. I knew I had to have an outstanding performance in order to push my career where I knew it should be a long time ago, but I didn't have that opportunity yet till this opportunity came. So when it came and I did knock Terry Harper out in the 4th round, I knew that Matchroom was going to sign me. They knew what they had because they seen it, and, Eddie had mentioned that night, you 2 of your fighters lost that night, but he really gained two champions that night, and that's how that happened. And, again, Eddie Hearn's doing amazing things for women's boxing. And I said, that's who I need to be with. He respects the game. He respects women. He pays right. And so like, it was just a perfect opportunity to be with Matchroom. And so signing with the 4-fight deal, I have 4 fights this year. I'm staying busy. I have 2 fights before June. So you're definitely going to see me more active and, again, just defending my titles and looking great doing it.
2 fights before June?
Yes.
Wow. So
yeah.
You should be announcing something here pretty soon.
Pretty soon, yeah. I told him, I'm like, I like to stay active. Like, I want to be in the ring. Like, I'm in the gym all day, every day, all year round, So when you putting all that wear and tear on your body, I want to put that to work. You know what I'm saying? We have a goal to be undisputed. And so the quicker we get my fights, get in there, the quicker, I can get all the belts at 130. So that's my goal for this year.
Now, has Terry Harper said she didn't want the rematch? Was there no rematch clause? Can you just elaborate on why there isn't talks of a second fight?
Do you think there should be a second fight?
Not that I do. I mean, but AJ lost badly to Andy.
No. So yeah, obviously, Eddie Hearn going to put a rematch clause in there. But no, Terry did not take the rematch. She moved up to 135 to fight Heather Hardy.
Okay.
So again, there's levels to this game, and just Terry Harper wasn't on my level that night.
So having 2 fights before June, I'm assuming that it's not going to be Michaela. We got to build that fight up. So do we see you with like a Natasha Jonas who's with Matchroom, I believe?
So we have my mandatory, and then we have Choi. Oh. Those are the 2 fights that I'm focused on before June.
So he's getting you because isn't Choi the WBA champion?
Mm-hmm.
So wow, so he's gonna be able to get you the unification. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing news.
Listen, we got it. We got this on the table. Let's finish it, and again, like I said, I want to stay busy. So that's what's on my agenda. Defending my title against my mandatory. Fighting Choi next. Again, boxing changes. So this is what I want. This is what we talked about. So you know how boxing is. It can change. But that's what we have though. That's what we have on the table.
So I'm no hipster, nor am I trying to walk you to a I guess a sad time, but I do want to know about the loss to Christina. I won't try to pronounce her name. What happened? Obviously, I couldn't find any tape. Was it off TV? And if you can just tell us from your own words what happened. And do you feel that helped you in the Terry Harper fight? Because coming in already with a loss, do you think they overlooked you?
Right. So that fight with Christina, at that time, it was a step-up fight for me. I was confident in myself. I said, this is what I need as an athlete. I'm competitive. I love the competition, and higher competition makes me better. And so I'm like, yes, let's take this girl. She's 9-1. I want to say I was 5-0 then.
6-0.
Say that again.
6-0.
6-0. Thank you. Boxing be like all over the place. But yeah, 6-0. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take Christina. it was a great fight, back and forth, nonstop action. And it was a split decision. I thought it could have went my way. It was actually on Real Deal Promotions card. So it's kind of crazy how I was signed with Real Deal, and it was a split and they gave it to her. And at that moment, when I lost, I'm like, damn, like, but this ain't it though. This is just the beginning, AB. Like, I told myself, losses happen. You know, I had the vision of being, you know, undefeated in this sport. You know, I think everyone comes into the sport wanting to be undefeated, but that loss was so necessary for my career and just for me personally. It allowed me to see the changes I needed to make within my circle. It allowed me to see the type of fighter I was. You know, I changed my trainer. I changed a lot of things, and that advanced me. And to this day, Christina will say that I am the hardest hitting person she's fought than Katie Taylor, Delphine, and all the other world champions that she's fought, and her being a world champion herself. So I know that that fight was going to speak volumes come now. You know what I mean? So that fight was necessary, and it was a great fight. You know, I like being in a dog fight, and that's exactly what it was. And you know, just being a world champion now, it was necessary to take that loss because, you know, again, it can make you or break you, and it made me even better. So it's perfect.
What was your thoughts on the Katie Taylor and Christine fight? Because once we started talking about it, my live chat is like, oh, she got robbed by Katie. Did you feel that way?
I guess it just depends on what they were looking at. I think it's like one of those things where, you know, Katie's like the fighter to win, and then you have this underdog Christina come in. So to me, is what are the judges looking at? For me, when you're fighting a Katie Taylor, you got to knock them out. You got to do something to really to prove yourself, and that's just the way it is, unfortunately. So I would have to go back and watch it because it's been a while. But it was a good fight though. It was a good fight for them too.
Do you envision your 4 fights with Matchroom all being at 130, or could we see a possible jump up to 135 for that Katie Taylor fight? Or even, I believe, well, Serrano's not over there, but the fight with her and Katie got made, so we never know what happens.
Yeah, I definitely want to move up to 135. I think that's next in line to be at 135 as well. So again, whatever Matchroom has for me, I'm willing. Like, I want to fight up to 47 eventually, but 30, 35, 40, 47. So right now, you know, focusing on 30, but 35 is definitely right there for me.
But you envision that in these 4 fights or after these 4 fights, maybe a move to 35?
I envision it to be probably 130. It just depends. It depends on how they want to move me and how, you know, the fights are being made. But I'm not objective to not going to 135.
So I got to ask, I'm a big fan of the IBO, and I've interviewed Ed Levine all the time. They sponsor all my events. You only posted the WBC green belt. Did you drop the IBO?
I posted both of them belts together.
Not on your last post 3 days ago. It's like Monday motivation.
That last post was just a post. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not gonna post a post.
I'm just making sure, because a lot of champions eventually end up dropping it. So I just wanted to make sure everything was still, you know, everything.
No, you know, just like anything, that it's a world title. It's a title that I fought for. You know, there's history with that title. You know what I mean? So it ain't nothing less than, you know what I mean? It's still a world title. I'm still a world champion. So that's all that matters. Belt or no belt, I'm a world champion. You know what I mean?
Hey, you feel the same way about that ring belt?
Listen, any belt. The belts are all material to me, right? It's the stamp, it's the performance, what makes that more important to me. You know what I mean? The belt just says, hey, I'm a world champion, but I know I'm a world champion, you know?
Okay, so I gotta ask this question. Okay, I know, make sure I'm right. Okay, you are from Ohio, correct?
Correct.
All right, so I gotta ask, this is not a boxing question. This is basketball, because I'm a big basketball fan, all right? Now, if you don't want to answer, it's okay. But are you a LeBron James fan? I just have to ask this.
Absolutely.
Okay, yes, yes. Love it, love it. I just it was irking me. I had to see, where the mindset was. Okay, and then
Absolutely.
okay, yes, yes. So the other question I had to ask you, I'm, born and raised from Detroit. I gotta ask you too. What's one thing, as far as transitioning, training in Detroit, vibing with certain people from Detroit? What's one thing that you would say that you love about Detroit?
One thing that I love about Detroit is that it's a place to grow. It's a place to make yourself stand out. Every place that I've been to growing up, you have to make yourself however you come up, wherever you from, you still gotta break out, right? And so Detroit, with how it is, how being in this city, you have to break out. And so, like, for me, it just reminds me, like, to stay on top, because it's so easy to get sucked into the regular degler, if that makes any sense. And I just love the grit that it has. When you make it out of a city like Detroit, you're doing a lot, just with any city. You know what I'm saying? If you just come from the bottom, I came from the bottom and worked my ass all the way to the top and still working. You know what I'm saying? So it just keeps me on my toes, definitely.
And I got one last question, fellas. I just wanted to ask this because I love what you said when after you won, you talked about God and you talked about patience. And I think patience is so key because a lot of us, even with me, it's like you rushing the process sometimes, or you want stuff and it's not coming as quickly as you want. So I guess what I'm trying to ask you too, as far as being a woman, what made you want to get into boxing, and how did you keep pushing yourself to be like, okay, I'm gonna do it, it's gonna happen for me?
Again, one, just keeping God first and just knowing my calling and the gifts and talent that I have. Like, I have a gift, and it's my duty to use that gift to the best of my ability. And I told myself at a young age that I don't want a regular life. Like, I want to make something of myself. And so, being in two male dominated sports, wrestling and boxing, and being a woman, them two sports gave me the confidence that I needed as a woman. I'm like, I'm competing with men, and just, and I don't even put gender on it, because I'm competing with y'all, you know what I'm saying, with men. And so it just kept me hungry. And I just knew that I had to just do it. Like, I had to put forth the effort, because I would have been so mad. Like, I told myself, I never wanted to say I could have been the best, should have been the best, would have, could have, should have, would have. I'm like, can't do that. Got to do it. And I didn't give up. And again, like you talked about patience, I had to have patience. As much as I wanted, a lot of people don't know, I had got offered to fight Michaela, I want to say 3 times or twice before I fought Terry Harper. The first time, my coach had just passed, and I still wanted to take it. But LJ's like, no, like, you just got to wait. You got to be patient. I'm like, man, I could beat her. I could beat her. The second time, I was planning on getting surgery. I'm like, I could beat her on a bum knee. I just want to fight her. They're like, you just wait, just chill. And so the patience was so necessary, because as much as I wanted to fight for a world title, it was I had my mindset on the green belt, right? And so how that all worked out, God had it planned. Well, if you are patient now and you wait, you get the surgery, you do what you got to do, it will be there for you. And it was there. And I'm like, yo, like,
Oh, it's gonna be bigger now too.
I just get chills thinking about it, because I know God had a plan for me. And it was just like, it's not what you want. If it's what I want, then you're going to be patient and you're going to just continue working. And so that's all I did. I'm like, I know. I sat in the car one day. I'm like, damn, man. Like, I want people to know who I am. I have this talent. I just want to be a world champion. And I told myself in the car one day, I said, you know what? As long as you keep putting in that work, the hard work every day, it's going to pay off. Something's going to come. Something has to come, right? That was just my faith that I kept. And so, boom, here we are. So,
No, that fight's gonna be worth so much more now because it's a unification. But I got a few questions from the people that I want to get to. Any of you guys got any other questions for her before I jump out to Patreon? All right. So I got the best dad ever. He says, "Hi, Queen. Thanks for coming on the Boxing Voice. What do you want to accomplish in 2022? We rocking with you until the wheels fall off."
In 22, I want to keep giving great performances. I want to give the fans a performance that I gave in the UK. You know, if I continue having those type of performances, I will elevate women's boxing, and women's boxing as a whole will be elevated, because that's what the fans want to see. So that's what I want to give the fans.
I have James Valdez in San Antonio, Texas, who says, who are your top 5 pound-for-pound fighters, and why is the number 1 pick the top dog?
You know, that's a great question. I think a lot of people ask. I don't have like favorites. I just love boxing. I just love seeing the fighters fight. But I got to put Canelo up there as number 1. I think what he's doing in the sport, you know, him having a loss, he didn't let that define him again, and he just took off like a rocket. And so got to put Canelo up there. You know, Tyson Fury, just, you know, the back and forth with Dibiase, I think that's a great fight. Just these fighters who broke out, and just their stories behind it, like that's what I like. So I can't think of 5, but I can think of, you know, Tyson Fury, Canelo. Yeah, I don't really think too much on the pound for pound. I just enjoy watching boxing.
All right, we got Brandon in Houston that says, what drill in the gym do you feel is most beneficial to real in-ring action?
I would say hitting the bag nonstop, hard as fuck. Okay. LJ's like, if you don't hit that bag hard, you're going to do another round. So again, working on the bag and just punching through the bag, because I want to punch through you when I get in the ring. I don't want to go 10 rounds. I was happy to get out of there for 4 rounds. I'm like, bet, I'm with that. But yeah, punch to the bag.
Ruin the 504 New Orleans. You answered this one, but I want to just give him a shout out and read the question anyway. If you want to add to it, all good. He said, how did the deal with Matchroom come about? But you kind of said it was after the knockout.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Mr. Adore says, is the Chew unification fight definitely next on the Taylor Serrano undercard? If not, where?
Definitely not next.
Okay.
Again, my mandatory is next. So again, that's still up. We are in negotiations for a date for that. So that's what's next.
All right. We have, I think that this is the last one from James in Alabama. Why do people actually think Mare is good? Thanks for coming on the show. You and Mare are doing one hell of a build-up. I believe you're going to win. So after you stop her, what's next? Serrano, Pursoon, or Taylor?
All of them. But I would answer with the Mayer fight is, you know, again, Mayer has a big platform. She's on Top Rank, you know, ESPN. A lot of people only see that. You know what I'm saying? There's so many other women boxers out here, you know, Dazn being a different platform. You know, someone might not even know about that. So again, some people might just be focused on a Top Rank card, so they just see one girl, Michaela Mayer, and that's fine. But that soon will come to you know, fruition when her and I fight. So
all right, and we have one final one in the form of a super chat from Rule Child Vision, who says, Eddie has you doing live commentating and media on fights. You seem like a natural. Do you like it?
I love it. I love staying busy. I love being in the boxing atmosphere. I love building my brand and building just who I am. I'm not going to box forever, right? So, you know, being able to do commentary and again, just speak my knowledge on what I see as a woman. I think it's great. I love it. I enjoy it. So I see myself doing that outside of boxing when I'm finished.
Well, those are all our questions, Ms. Baumgardner. We thank you for your time. If you can give out your social media for anybody who hasn't already been following, you can do so. And we wish you the best of luck on your career and can't wait to get you back on, of course.
Thank you. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Alycia Baumgardner and on Twitter at Alycia M. Baum. B-A-U.
Thank you so much. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Alycia Baumgardner, the champ, WBC, IBO.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, champ.
Problem.
Vamos, campeón.
Let's go.
For the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Untitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.